My whitebait fritter was absolutely cooked to perfection. Yummy. Those of you that have had whitebait omelettes or whitebait fritters will know what I mean. They are absolutely delicious. Yeah, it doesn't get much better than this actually. This is the river mouth, and these tide at the moment looks like it may be just coming in. Sea's nice and clear. And yeah, it's a very nice day out here actually. Sort of have a little look down here. It's one of my favourite views. Unfortunately the fence is a little bit in the way, but I think you can get an idea. This part of North Island of New Zealand is quite nice. Plenty of nice scenery. Get quite a lot of rainfall, so it's quite green. Like a little Sleepy Hollow, this part. This red mine here is actually was found off the coast here. It's from the Second World War. A few guys out on their bikes today. Okay, let's get back onto the journey again. Good driving weather, not too hot, not too cold, not a lot of traffic to deal with. Quite a good road to ride when you're on a motorbike. Plenty of nice corners and a few straightaways as well. Sounded nice. Just sitting on 100, feels about right for this road. We're actually heading south. If we carry on this road to the end of it, it'll take us down to Wellington at the bottom of the North Island of New Zealand. So we're on the west coast of the North Island. This is the coast where the beach is all iron sand, so it's a black sand. On the other coast of the North Island we have the white sand, which is sort of based on bunched up shell. So plenty of nice little spots along the way, picnics and places like that, just perfect really. Decided to get a Red Bull to wash down the old whitebait omelette. The two actually go together very nicely. Recommend that. Good combo. Red Bull after a whitebait omelette. temperature's gone up quite nicely now. It's 17 degrees outside now. You got quite a lot of road where there's no opportunity to pass, and you can be stuck behind trucks and slow traffic for a long time. This guy's been pretty good. He's letting us go past, so I might just take the opportunity. There we go. See what happens here. Thanks, buddy. That was just up to 120. You got to sort of do that a little bit to get, you know, get on with it. Nothing for the Mercedes. So this road just follows the coastline for quite a long time. There's the sea out there. I don't know if you can see it off there to the right of the screen. Nice and calm. Nice and blue. Anybody watching this video thinking about coming to New Zealand to do a road trip, wonderful country for driving. Either hire a car or buy a car and sell it later, or hire a motorbike or buy a motorbike. Arriving at Auckland, I would go north, go right up to the top of the North Island, a place called Cape Reinga, North Cape, then come all the way back down through Auckland over to the east coast of the area that we call the Coromandel Peninsula, heading down there through to the Bay of Plenty and Hawke's Bay, Wairarapa down to Wellington. Would be a nice drive. Get into Wellington, take the ferry, inter-islander ferry across to Picton, top of the South Island, continue your journey. I would go down through the down through to Wellington to Christchurch on the east coast, all the way down through Dunedin, down to Invercargill and Bluff. Then I would probably start making my way up as much of the west coast of the South Island that you could get across to. Beautiful part of the South Island. Right up again to say Blenheim at the top of the South Island, back on the ferry again to Wellington, and then drive up the west coast of the North Island, up through Wanganui, New Plymouth, the road that I'm on now called Highway number 3, back up to Auckland, have maybe a week in Auckland, and then fly out again. I think you'd find that to be a wonderful journey, that you would have a lot of great memories and lots of fantastic sightseeing along the way. You'd want to allow yourself, I would say, 4 weeks to do that quite nicely. Anything less than 4 weeks probably be a bit rushed. But I've done that trip and I think it's worthwhile doing. Whether you hired a rental car, or whether you bought a car and then sold it after the trip. Cars in New Zealand are quite reasonably priced, and not too hard to flick them off later on also. coming now into quite a nice little area where the river comes in from the sea here, and there's a few little holiday houses. Depending on your currency, New Zealand still has some reasonably low priced real estate. You just have to get out of the main centres and you'll find that oh, quite a big slip there on the left. Wow, that must have been quite bad. I think that would have probably come across the road. It's probably been shifted back by a bulldozer or by a grader. It's a fairly safe country for driving. I don't think you need to be too concerned about your personal safety, even driving in the evening. The traffic is fairly sensible. You don't get a lot of idiots driving, causing you stress on the road. If you're coming from a country where you're driving a left-hand drive car, it will take you a little while to get used to the changeover. Always remember the golden rule, guys. The driver is in the centre of the road. So if you find yourself not in the centre of the road, you're on the wrong side of the road, buddy. Either that or you're in a multi-lane road. But yeah, I've driven a lot overseas out of New Zealand with left-hand drive cars, and it takes a little while. It doesn't take, well, for me it didn't take too long, maybe a day or so, and I was pretty good at it, you know. I do prefer actually left-hand drive, right-hand stick shift, you know, I'm right-handed, so it feels more natural changing gears with your right hand than your left hand. I guess that's what you get used to. A lot of vehicles now, of course, are automatics. We have a lot of bushland still, a lot of land where I'm sure people haven't even set foot yet. It's not really much use. It's too steep for farming. We don't do any cropping. Not legal cropping anyway. But yeah, so it's just basically just bush land. Some people clear a bit of it and plant pines, but a lot of it is just what we call New Zealand native bush. Sometimes first generation or maybe second or third generation regrowth. But I think you can get a feel for the driving here is very easy. If you're a driver that doesn't have a lot of confidence, say doesn't enjoy driving on the big interstates or freeways, New Zealand is good for that. We have a lot of these what you'd almost call Class B roads, which run through the length of the country. Note our power line system. In New Zealand we have a standard 3-phase distribution network like every other country. In New Zealand we run what's known as an MEN system of electricity supply. That stands for multiple earth neutral. That's where the neutral conductor is earthed at multiple points throughout the distribution system. And so these lines on one side have probably 11 or 22 kV. See the transformers, they'll step down there to there'll be a delta primary winding with a star secondary winding, stepping down to 400 volts line voltage, and therefore 230 volt phase voltage for local distribution to housing in this area. We get a little bit of single wire earth return, but not on this road. Where they'll use a single high voltage line and the earth return and run it through a transformer, a center tap transformer, giving you say 230, 460 volts over 2 windings. Our system of supply frequency in New Zealand is 50 cycles or 50 hertz, 50 cycles per second, which is quite common in this part of the world, same as Australia. Anyway, I'm just rambling, a little way to go before I reach my destination today, so I'll just end off on this. Hope the scenery has been interesting for you, and hope that you're having a nice day wherever you are as well, and I'll catch you a little bit later on in the next one. Bye for now.